Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidanandamurtaye Nisprapanchaya Santaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Shanti 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 Sankaram Sankaracharyam Kesavam Badarayanam Sutrahasakritam Vande Bhagavanto Punaha Punaha Isvara Guraraatmete Murtibheda Vibhagine Vyamavadhyaptadehaya Yachinamurtaye Namaha Om Shanti 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 Om Gurbhyo Namah Harihi Om. So today and now we are going to study Shiva Sutra. Shiva Sutras. So how many sutras, Atmananda, we have been studied?
Yes, we stopped with 19. We need to discuss 19. Chapter 1.
Sutra number 19, right?
Shakti Santane Sarupatihi.
Sakti Sandhane Sarupatihi. So now, today we are going to study Sutra number 20. Saiva Sutra, Saivism, we are going to study Sutra number 20. Bhuta Sandhana Bhuta Prithagatva Visva Sanghata. So we have been studying many things about Saivism in the past. Let I introduce once again. So the Saivagam revealed by the Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva taught the first sutra, Chaitanya Atma. Atma is the consciousness, Atma itself the awareness, and Atma is the pure consciousness. And once you know the Atma Jnana, and you become free and merge in the Shiva Loka. So this is the Saiva Agam. So later we shall study today Sutra number 20. And if you want to really to understand Saivism, you must start the Sutra number 1 and go further. Like you study Patanjali Yoga Sutras. You need to study the 4th chapter of the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Like the Samadhi Pada, Sadhana Pada, Vibhuti Pada, and Kaivalya Pada. Similarly, you have to study many things about the Saivism and through the Shiva Sutras. Through they say, through the preeminence of the union with the Siddha Sakti or other supernormal powers as desired by him, actual to the yogi. This is what the next sutra says. So about it say Bhuta, Sandhana, Bhuta Prithakatva, Visva Sanghata. Visva Sanghata. Bhuta means all existence like body, prana, objects, etc. Sandhana means their addition or putting together for promoting growth. So Bhuta Samadhan means, they say Bhuta Sandhana. Then again say, so Bhuta Sandhana means the power of joining elements of existence for augmentation or the promotion of growth in some cases. Bhuta Prithakatva means the power of separating or elements from the body for curing physical elements, etc. They say Bhuta Sandhana, Bhuta Prithakatva, Visva Sanghata. Say Visva Sanghata means the power of bringing together all things removed by space and time, by making them object of his own knowledge. All these powers accrue to him when he is able to unite his consciousness with Ichasakti, as said before. You have to always understand that through the preeminence of the union with this Ichasakti that you have been studying, a yogi union with Shiva by the power of the Ichasakti, by the Ichasakti of Lord Shiva, a yogi, a meditator, a seeker, a devotee, who can unite to the Shiva, and how he can, a practitioner, a sadhaka, a seeker of the spiritual, a seeker of the spiritual science, or seeker of the God, seeker of the Shiva, seeker of the yoga, student of yoga, disciple of yoga. You can get many names, right? A yogi, by the willpower of the Lord Shiva, only can unite with the Shiva. You can merge with the Shiva. It means by the willpower of Shiva, only you can have darshan, the vision of Shiva, merge with Shiva, direct communicate with Lord Shiva, right? This is the meanings. This is through the preeminence of the union with this Chasakti, other supernormal powers are desired by him. By him means by the Shiva, according to the yogi. This is what the Nesutra says. The Bhuta Sandhana, Bhuta Pratakatva, Vishwa Sanghata. So Vishwa Sanghata means power of bringing together all things removed by space and time, etc., by making them object of his own knowledge. All these powers accrue to him when he is able to unite his consciousness with Shakti, as said before. That's what I try to remind again. Reminding this has been given in all agamas in the chapter on the sadhana. In the chapter on sadhana, the means of accomplishing, mastering, overpowering. All these powers are accrued to him when he is able to unite his consciousness with Shakti, as said before. So this has been given all the agamas. Agama means the science of tantra. The science of tantra always speak about to merge with Shiva by the willpower of Lord Shiva. And willpower is nothing but willpower is the Shakti. So through the medium of Shakti, through the instrument of Shakti, and you can merge with Shiva. And without Shakti, there no vision of Shiva. If you want to realize Shiva, you can't experience Shiva. So if you want to experience Shiva, then you must go through Icha Shakti, through Shakti, through the kundalini energy, through the divine power, through the Adi Shakti. That you have to be clear. This is sadhana. Sadhana means accomplishing, mastering, overpowering. So sadhana is all about mastering through sadhana, through mastering certain powers. That way we can reach to the Lord Shiva. In the Spandakarika, such powers have been described in a well-reasoned manner in the chapter dealing with his supernormal powers, Vibhuti. Vibhuti means the supernatural powers. That what you study in the third chapter of Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Vibhuti Pada, Yoga of Obstacles. All supernatural powers could be Yoga of Obstacles. So therefore, when you are awakening Kundalini energy, you may use negative purposes. Some people use for black magics. And this black magic power, when you misuse, and you can't reach to the God, you can't really experience your soul and spirit. Right? That is the third chapter of the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. For example, sometimes many yoga sadhakas, They have the name, they have the fame, their money comes, they have 1,000,000,000 disciples, they have 1,000 ashrams, so on. But finally, they misuse their supernatural powers. End of the day, and actually, they themselves lose the path of spirituality. Lose path of spirituality. Sometimes when young time, you are walking path of spirituality, maybe you are a great yogi, great yoga teacher, and you travel around the world, and you may be very rich by teaching, get money, ashram, name and fame. So what do you do end of the day? But sometimes misuse, maybe, and you don't have the Atma Gyan. You don't have the knowledge of yourself. So what do? You misuse your powers with your egoistic way, or sometimes you marry, have children, maybe, and sometimes your children are good, so you lose a lot of finance, your all energy, and you engage to manage your family, then you totally forget spiritual attainments. Totally forget spiritual attainments. And this is the biggest obstacles. These are the biggest obstacles. So that is the supernatural powers. But you have to always remember supernatural powers. You must use positively, manage your family positively, and go towards the enlightenments. Then another thing, they speak about Sutra number 20. Bhuta Sandhana Bhuta Prathakatva Vishwa Sanghata. So again, I try to little bit go to backside. Bhuta means existent entity. Sandhana, putting together or joining. Bhuta Sandhana, putting together or joining the components of existence. Bhuta Prathakatva, disjoining or separating the components of existence. Sanghata, assembling, collecting, joining, uniting. Vishwa, this means everything. This means whole universe. Vishwa Sanghata, the power of uniting, bringing together everything. The other supernatural powers of the yogi are the power of joining or putting together elements or part in the existence, synthetical power, the power of separating elements of the existence, analytical power, the power of bringing together everything, removed by the space and time. But these sutras is going to make you so much clarification now. So when you go into sutra number 21, you will be more understandings. But same time, they say that the sutra number 19, what they speak? They say, the 19th sutra says that the yogi who can unite his consciousness with the divine Ishasakti can acquire the power of creating any kind of body according to his desires. Right? When you are awakening kundalini, so you have to get proper meanings. Sutra number 19. What they say that? Atmanan. Sutra number 19. They say that Sakti Sandhane Sariratpatihi. Sakti Sandhane Sarirat. What they say that? On being united with their Sakti, with one pointedness, Sariratpatihi, there can be creation of body according to the yogi desires. When with one pointedness, the yogi is fully united with the Sasakti, and he can acquire the power of creating any kind of body according to his desires. Sutra number 19, when you are awakening Kundalini, you have to clear now. Don't look the books. Please attention to me, what I'm going to speak to you. Atmanan, listen properly before you engage something to writing. Carefully listening now. Sutra number 19 say that when a yogi concentrated properly awake, and through the concentration. When a yogi awakening Kundalini Shakti, the Adi Shakti, the Itha Shakti, or unite with Itha Shakti, what happens? The yogi over master of the supernatural powers, vibhutis, all kind of miracles, all supernatural powers. That you know also. When you're awakening Kundalini, when you're awakening Adi Shakti within yourselves, and you have so much power, so much tremendous, extraordinary powers. Through the extraordinary powers, what happens? Either you go to Sivaloka or you create the name and fame. You can have million disciples, or you can have 1,000 wives, 1,000 husbands, 1,000 children, million buildings, many ashrams. You understand me? But if you use this power, you can create subtle body, astral body, causal body. You can be elephant, you can be lion, you can be tiger, right? Like Milarepa, he used to create a lot of miracles. He born in the village, he can stop the rain, he can create the rain, right? So you can have a lot of supernatural powers. Once you are awakening totality of the Kundalini Shakti, Kundalini power, that Kalicha Shakti. So therefore, Sutra number 19, they speak about Sakti Sandhane Sarirotpatihi. So when a yogi united with Shakti, it means fully awakening the Adi Shakti, Kundalini Shakti. A yogi can anytime, any moment, anywhere, any kind of bodies. That means a person can create so many miracles. That is called the Sutta number 19. So what happening? Again, they see that the presence of the described further supernatural powers. The Sutta number 20 speak about the present Sutra means the Sutta number 20. What they speak is it describes further super normal powers of the yogi, power of joining together certain elements in a body for growth and nourishment, synthetical powers, the power of separating elements from a body or object, analytical power, and the power of bringing back to the consciousness all objects and events are removed in the space and time. The occult power of reading past events and knowing object far away in the space. So you have to be clear. The Sutta number 20 speak about more supernatural powers. And even you can have the over mastery of each elements. Earth element, water element, air element, fire element, earth, sky elements. And you can create the 5 kind of elements. It means you are conquer the fire elements. You can conquer the air elements. Like you see the Ramayana in Mahabharata. There is many warriors like Arjuna. He can create the rain. He can create the fire. He can bring the air elements, right? And he can bring the clouds like Milarepa. So Sutra number 20 showing that they see that he can separate. What do they say? Bhuta Sandhana, Bhuta Prithak, Vishwa Sanghataha. So person creates so because over master of the elements, 5 elements. And when over master of the 5 elements, you are over master of the physical body, subtle body, astral body as well. The physical body is composed by 5 elements. So what happened? You get all kind of occult powers, right? In modern science, they say occult science, occult powers. So you get a lot of 4 things. That's what they say. Occult power of reading the past events and knowing objects far out in the space. So you are no more, controlled by the 5 elements. So you can go so many past events what are happening in the past. Not only that, you are also going to so much future also to know. And object, they say the occult power of reading the past events and knowing objects. You are no more controlled by the elements. So you are going to beyond this. So, and that is the Sutra number 20. Now, I would like again to explain a little bit the specific notes. I think this book you have, but maybe on the reading books, you're not going to understand. Sometimes I read the books, but I don't understand it. But I have to go to deep, make you understand it properly. The right, Atmanand? You can read books, very difficult to understand for you, because you have to go to backward and forward. Backward and forward like that. That is very interesting. What they say that when you study in Patanjali Yoga Sutras, what they say? Samadhi bhavanarthasa klesatanu karanarthasa. When you study second chapter practice, what you study? First sutra you study chitta, no. First sutra is what is that? Atmanam, second chapter. Tapaha swadhyaya isvara pranidhan kriya yoga. Atmanam, don't look the books. We memorize something. Second chapter of Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Atmananda study for last 3 years. Remember always. Tapaha swadhyaya isvara pranidhan kriya yoga. But what is the purpose of kriya yoga? Then they speak about to samadhi bhavanarthaha klesatanu karanarthasa. The aim of kriya yoga to attain samadhi. Why need to practice samadhi? Because free from the klesas, free from the miseries, free from the dukkhas. So our aim of kriya yoga to practice in order to attain samadhi. But attainment of samadhi, why need to attain samadhi? In order to be free from the all kind of klesas, all kind of dukkhas, all kind of miseries, all kind of stress and strain in your life, and free from the samsara. Then why you want to be free? Then say, what are the root cause of sufferings? This avidya, asmita, raga, dvesa, avinivesa, klesaha. So, what are the root cause of all sufferings? This avidya, asmita, raga, dvesa, avinivesa, klesaha. This is the second chapter. You can read, let it memorize. So, therefore, when you study Patanjali Yoga Sutras, and then come to Saivaism also. What are the classes? And what are the events? They speak about supernatural powers. And you have been studying in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, 3rd chapter. Yoga for miracles, yoga for obstacles. Yoga for miracles means yoga for obstacles in order to attain Atma Jnana. So therefore, Shiva Sutra speak about to Sakti and Shiva. How to merge the Shiva means how to have Atma Jnana and pure consciousness. You attain the pure and absolute consciousness, and where one able to becoming free from the bondage of karma, of sufferings, miseries. I'm clear now? I'm speaking today like BBC Radio or CNN of the America. Of course, I don't speak good English, but when I'm speaking, this is the Shiva consciousness within me to speak with you. And I try my best through the grace of Shiva, through the grace of our Divine Mother Adi Shakti. Don't look what kind of English I'm speaking, but always look what is my, what I'm going to speak, the essence. Always remember, whatever I taught you, always look the essence. What actually, what I mean. So always that is very important. It is meaningful. That is my guru sometimes say that. Don't look the sentence of English I'm speaking. Don't look at that sentence. Look my attitude. Look my whatever I'm going to speak. Look that essence. Always look the essence. Look the attitude. Look the attainments. Look the achieves. Right? That is very, very important. Then sutra number 21. So what is the sutra number 21 now? Do you have any questions in regarding the sutra number 20 now? Anyone? Atmanand?
No, it's just pranayama is part of the step for meditation. Belongs together, pranayama and meditation. Both things as long as possible. as long as you can sit.
Okay, good. Anyone else? Okay, so now I'm going to sutra number 21. Introduction to this 21st sutras. Yadato. This is sutra number 21, Sudha. Sudha Vidyo Dayasakra Sattva Siddhi. Sudha Vidot Daya Sakra Sattva Siddhi. Sudha Vidyodaya. That means through the appearance of the Sudha Vidya. Sudha Vidya means pure knowledge, pure wisdom. Sudha means pure. Sudha Vidya means actually here the content comes when you get the knowledge of Atma, knowledge of soul, knowledge of spirit. That is called Sudha Vidya. That word Lord Shiva taught in the past sutras. Chaitanya Atma, that is the Sudha Vidya. When you get knowledge of Atma, when knowledge of soul, the spirit, that is called Sudha Vidya, the pure wisdom. The pure wisdom leads you all the way to the freedom, eternal freedom, and you are going to attain eternal peace of the mind. And you are going to attain not only peace of the mind, but you are going to attain the Brahma Jnana and merge with the Supreme Consciousness, Absolute Consciousness, Shiva Loka. And you are attained and merge with the Lord Shiva. So this month is a special month, special sadhana is going in India, and people worship Lord Shiva. Lot of people now, Rishikesh is overcrowded. People take Ganges water, go to Nilkant, and people also bring the Ganga water from the source of Ganges. Mother Ganga is Adi Shakti, and this water they worship the Abhishek from Lord Shiva. It means, so Mother Ganga is the Icha Shakti, the Adi Shakti of Lord Shiva. So through the willpower of Lord Shiva, you can have the divine vision of Shiva. So anyone and take the water from the Mother Ganges, and this water Abhishekam pour to the Shiva Lingam, so they can have Shiva darshan. They can merge with Shiva Lord. So that would believe. That would believe this month specific. Right? So therefore many devotees, and you can go to some television, Google it. So this is called month of Bhadra. Special month to worship the Lord Shiva. So therefore, and we have a lot of traffics in India, especially in Rishikesh. A lot of people all the way come from Delhi, overcrowded. And it was also time. So I used to collect the water from the source of Ganges. Source of Ganges from the Himalayas. That is called Gangotri. That is called source of Ganges. Not a Gangotri, is more called Gomukh. Gomukh is the source of Mother Ganga, where the Mother Ganga actually born. Actually, Mother Ganga is coming from Mount Kailas, but somehow, as a physical form of Mother Ganga, she coming from this source of Gomukh. The face of Gomukh means it seems looks like a face of the cow. Gomukh. Go means cow, and Mukh means the face. So Mother Ganga coming out of the face of the cow. This seems like that, but actually it is a snow Himalayan mountain. The stone, the snow, and ice, and Mother Ganga coming through that, and the Himalayas. And so I used to take this water from the source of Ganges all the way to the Rameswaram, to southern India, and Sivalingam. And Rameswaram, where the Lord Rama, established, and the Lord Shiva, and he founded that Sivalingam. and the Rameswaram is southern in Tamil Nadu. When you go, when Lord Rama and want to go to the Lanka, recover his beloved wife, Mother Sita. That time, entity was also performed by the Ravana itself. Ravana itself, I think so. So he the person, that story like that, and they perform the Sivalingam there. That called Rameswaram. And the rituals done by the, I think, by the Ravana, I think he was the Brahmin, he was the priest, as per the stories. And at that time, Lord Rama himself, he performs as a Sivalingam in that place, in Rameswaram. There is a lot of stories. I don't know everything, but you can go to the, read in the Google. So Rameswaram Sivalingam. So all the way I went there, and then all the way I went there, and I was pour the water, Abhisekam. And it was time also I was indeed in Bihar, while I was studying in Bihar School of Yoga, and through the grace of my Guru and Swami Niranjanji, and he gave me special blessings. So I walked 5 days and hung in the water 2 sides, So all the way to the walking 5 days, every day almost 30 kilometers, 35 kilometers, and pour the water Sivalingam in Bihar Jyotirlingam called Baidyanath Dham. And that is the place Mother Ganga, and is there called Sultanganj, special place, Sultanganj. And from there you have to walk all the way to Baidyanath Dham. And now is the another state that called Jharkhand and called Devghar. Anyway, so that I did a long time before, when I was the age of 18. So that was the done. So this is the devotions, how and you are going to vision of the Lord Shiva. So this time, so this sutra says that by the Ichha Sakti, by the awakening Kundalini, a yogi, and can actually to realize the Shiva, to enter the kingdom of Sivaloka. Sivaloka. Not only that, when a yogi concentrates and awake and a Adisakti, through the consent of the Adisakti, merge with the Adisakti, it means it's fully awakening Kundalini, and one can have also so many supernatural powers, so much miracles. But let us see what is the further steps they speak. Shiva Sutras. So 21 Sutras, they say that Sudha Vidya. Sudha Vidya already said you, pure wisdom of the Atmajnana. Atmajnana. Because Lord Shiva not say that you have to know me. He said that know your Atma, know your soul, then you can know me also. Know me. Lord Shiva never say that worship to me. He said know yourself, know the Atma, then you can merge with the absolute consciousness. And that is I'm nothing, but I am the absolute consciousness. I am the pure consciousness. That is the definition of the Atma, definition of the Lord Shiva. We say Satyam Shivam Sundaram, Satyam Shivam Sundaram, Satyam Shivam Sundaram, Satyam Shivam Sundaram, Satyam Shivam Sundaram. I am the Satya, I am the truth, I am the pure consciousness, I am the existence, I am the bliss and absolute consciousness. I am exist all the time. I was, I am, and I will be. So that is the Shiva consciousness. Then Chakre Sattva Sedehe Siddha Vidyo Daya. Through the appearance of this Siddha Vidya, what happens? Chakre Sattva Sedehe. Chakre Sattva Sedehe. This Sudha Vidyu Daya Chakre Sattva Sedehe. But here they don't translate properly, Daya. That means actually kind. Sakre Sattva Siddhi. Let we shall see what the further sutra try to explain to us. It means sutras are taught by Lord Shiva. So, we are not we try to realize this. Shiva, whatever speaking, we need his grace to speak his sutras because it's taught by Lord Shiva. The sutras are revealed by Lord Shiva. The knowledge, the wisdom revealed by Lord Shiva. We are just the common being. So therefore, we need his grace to taught these Shiva sutras. So without grace of Shiva, without grace of Guru, one not able to speak Shiva sutras. It must be clear. Must be clear. Same time, we need grace of Adi Shakti. We need grace of Parasakti. We need grace of Shakti. Without the grace of Divine Mother, the Parasakti not able to speak Shiva sutras and not able to understand also properly. Chakre Sattva Senehi, full acquisitions of a mastery over the collective whole of the Shaktis. Full acquisition of mastery over the collective whole of the Shaktis through the appearance to the Vidya. What does that mean? So once you have the Sudha Vidya, what happens? So you can have the over mastery of the Shakti energy. What Shakti energy? Then anyway, we have to let it go to the further. Let it go to further. So when a yogi unites his consciousness with Shakti through the intensive awareness with a desire to gain universal consciousness, then through the appearance of Sudha Vidya, a yogi succeeds in acquiring the supreme power of Shiva in the form of a complete mastery over his universal collective whole of Shakti. The same now please come back.
Yeah, you're back.
There are some difficulties, right? So now we are here.
Yeah, you're there.
So the sutra number 21, I would like to clarify more. They say Sudha Vidyodaya Sakre Sattva Siddhi. Siddhi means here the occupancy. Siddhi means you are over mastery something. So here, as per the sutra number 21, so the proper meaning is when a yogi unites his consciousness with the Shakti through the intensive awareness with a desire to gain universal consciousness. Then through the appearance of a Shuddha Vidya. It means, we have to be very clear, Shuddha Vidya means the pure Shakti. Here Shuddha Vidya represents to Shakti. It means by the grace of Shakti, one can have the Shuddha Vidya, the pure knowledge, the pure wisdom. And through the pure Vidyas, through the Shuddha Vidya, through the pure wisdom, one can attain all kind of siddhis and miracles. And through the Shuddha Vidya, through the Shakti, one can attain, one can realize the universal consciousness, the Atma Jnana, and one can realize the Shiva, the absolute consciousness of existence. So therefore, the Shakti, the Adi Shakti here represents as a Vidya, designated as a Vidya, because the reason is she brings about to investigation of the beginningless and the characteristics of Shiva. So through the Icha Shakti, through the willpower, through the Adi Shakti, only you can understand the beginning, the middle, and end of Lord Shiva. So that means one can have the one can able to understand, not intellectually, not by mind or emotions, but pure through the pure intuitively or by revel can understand the Shiva. That means through the Icha Shakti, one able to go beyond mind, matter, and phenomenon, so that one able to understand or attain the Shiva Tattva, the consciousness of Shiva. So this is because she brings about the knowledge of the highest self, because she dispels. That means through the pure wisdom, through the pure Vidya, the Shuddha Vidya, through the grace of Icha Shakti, and one can free from all kind of darkness. One can free from the avidyas. One can free from the asmita, raga, dvesa, avinivesa. One can free from all kind of places. One kind of places. Then once you have attained the Parasakti, once you attain and merge with the Parasakti, what happens? Then you understand what is self, what is not self, what is permanent, what is not permanent, what is avidya and what is vidya, what is the darkness, what is the lightness. So that is the sutra number 21. Then what they say that? They say highest self, and because it dispels all that is not that high self. So through the grace of Parasakti, you are going to attain the higher consciousness. Then naturally you dispel, you remove all kind of avidyas yourself. And that's the cause of suffering and misery. Establishing in that, this is Unman state. Unmani Mudra, you are being studied. Unmani Mudra, where a person can attain the higher consciousness. One can manifest the highest light, the highest cause. If one is established in that manifest highest light, he can attain, a yogi can attain to the state of Shiva. And that is the Swasatandra Tantra. That is when you find you are going to find special scriptures. Yes, Atmananda, I listen to you. Let me finish.
I have now a question. Like for example, the Buddhists, they just meditate, but without doing the pranayama. Is it possible to gain the Atma Jnana or enlightenment without Kundalini Shakti?
Actually, Atmanand, your answer is correct. Your question is very relevant. Your question is very, very relevant, not very, 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 very relevant. Yes. One no need to practice pranayama. One can meditate, but without awakening kundalini, there is no higher enlightenments. But either sometimes you are conscious, sometimes you are not. The awakening kundalini naturally takes place. And without awakening kundalini, as per the kundalini science, as per the science of tantra, without awakening kundalini, there is no higher enlightenment. But if sometimes you have good karma in the past life, like Lord Buddha, he left simple the kingdom, is sitting on a tree and meditated for a long time. Of course, he was also met many masters. Before you are sitting on a tree and meditating and for the enlightenment. So I'm pretty sure and I'm very clear, Lord Buddha, he has been studying all kind of pranayama, all kind of kundalini science. I'm very pretty sure and very sure. Therefore, and otherwise, what he taught in the vipassana meditation, meditate on the anapana, incoming and outgoing breath. It means a person know about prana. Means Lord Buddha, he know what is pranayam and what is prana, and he know what is kundalini, and he know how to withdraw the senses in order to engage in the prana. And prana is all about the kundalini sakti, kundalini power. So therefore, when Buddhist monks or Buddhism, they meditate on breath, it means they meditate on prana sakti. By meditating on prana sakti, incoming and outgoing breath, naturally a person awakening kundalini, either it is conscious or unconscious, they are naturally awakening kundalini. Through that awakening kundalini sakti, they enter into enlightenment. Of course, so Lord Buddha in Vipassana, they don't so much explain about it because he don't want to complicate the techniques. He don't want to complicate it. So therefore, he tried to teach the science of enlightenment in simplest form, and it has to be available to all people, for common people, for king, for emperors. So he wants teaching them without commercialize the technique, and it has to be available for all people, all people. And so when you study pranayama, and you need to have the master and the guru and so on, so you have to go through the proper techniques, and it seems a lot of complications. So therefore, Lord Buddha, and as far as enlightenment, he tried to teach and give technique to the all beings. I mean, especially the human beings, not all beings, but human beings. And only watch your breath, watch yourself, and get enlightenment, be free from the all places, all dukkhas. So therefore, he taught what? To know the root cause of sufferings and becoming free from root cause of sufferings. Without teaching pranayama, without teaching kundalini, without teaching the science of a soul or atma or brahma and so on, blah, 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 blah. You have no time. And a common persons have no time. A people who living in the samsara, like you living in the samsara, still, and sometimes you work, right for your office, you listen lectures, for example, and we all people engage for many things. So Lord Buddha, he think himself, he think about common beings, and he was compassionate to others. So he don't want the science of enlightenment to be commercialized. Like today, we all gurus to do, either teaching online or YouTube or in ashrams, all commercialized. It means we have no idea what is enlightenment. Like all gurus around the world, right? They are coming online, only commercialized, no matter what kind of guru today. And they go to YouTube without knowing any enlightenments. And there is big gurus, 1,000 disciples follow them, and they think that our guru know about enlightenment. Useless. That is zero. No enlightenments is avidya. So anyone teaching online YouTube, this is called avidya, no vidyas. So Lord Buddha, so don't want teaching avidya, you are teaching vidya, the science of enlightenment, science of wisdom, like Lord Shiva. He taught the science of wisdom, revealed. So therefore Lord Buddha did not come to YouTube to teach, and he did not make the and online internet so much spending money. So Lord Shiva say that is simply awakening kundalini, just aware of me and find that inner self. So therefore Lord Shiva also taught and how to awakening this prana sakti, unite with the prana sakti and know me and becoming free from the samsara, free from sufferings. So therefore, Lord Shiva, and he never also commercialized the science of Atma Jnana. So even he don't speak about anything discipline. He speak about you are the Atma, you are the pure consciousness, nothing else. And that you have to understand. So, but somehow, and it is in therefore very beginning, and the science of Atma Jnana. So, am I clear now, Atmananda? Is it
Yes.
am a
Thank you
good
very
teacher
much.
for you now? Good master, good guru. So I need some credits, no?
It's also how I can explain it to my students, you know. They want to know why I teach simple things, and for myself, I do the complicated things.
Because people are complicated, you are complicated, so you want to teach complicated things. And you know that I am also very simple person, and I teaching very simple techniques. The people are complicated, also I'm complicated. People are tough, I will be tough. So people are compassion, I became compassion, but I'm not Lord Buddha. So Lord Buddha always compassion, no matter. People are very tough, people are very angry, people are very react on Lord Buddha. But he was remain compassion, remain throughout his life when it come to monkhood and when he was enlightenment. But I'm not Lord Buddha to be compassion all the time. Yeah, people slap me, I'll slap double. So when somebody slapped Lord Buddha, so to other cheek. But me, I slap two. So that is different. Lord Buddha and Swami Samarpan, Guruji Avadhuta. So it's different total. So I take I may cultivate the quality of Lord Shiva. And if somebody compassion, I'll be compassion. Somebody need Bhasmasura, I can kill the person as well by my miracle powers. Not physically, but my tricks. So by tricks, I can conquer to others, like Lord Shiva. So I have two qualities. So I'm not compassionate like Lord Buddha, but I can, so I am the Shiva. So that always represents. I say Shiva, so by your grace, I can be compassionate. By your grace, I can protect myself. I don't cry. You save me. Oh, Lord Shiva, please save me. Please save me. Somebody kill me. I don't ask this. Lord Shiva said that no. Be strong. Be compassionate. Whoever comes to you, if they're kind and humble, be compassionate. Somebody rude, just kill them. So I don't care the violent here. You understand? Defense, protect. So Lord Shiva, I don't cry. So let Lord Shiva protect to us. What I mean here, I make some jokes, but of course, you have to learn the science of compassion. That's not the science of violence. Normally, Lord Shiva never killed to no one. Never. Never he created the violence. Never. But he created such an atmosphere, somebody and want to do something with the wrong, but out of his compassion, out of his supernatural powers, out of his tricks, person itself will be healed. Without Lord Shiva never touch. Understand me? Lord Shiva normally not kill to anyone. Therefore, he was the incarnation of a compassion. Karpura Gauram Karunavataram. Say Karpura Gauram Karunavataram Sansara Saram Bhujagendraharam. Lord Shiva is the personification of compassion and incarnation of the compassion. Lord Buddha also incarnation of compassion. Jesus like is the incarnation of compassion. These are masters, the compassionate people, compassionate masters, compassionate guru. So therefore, so they can worship as a God, as a divine, as absolute consciousness. Who can be worshipped as God? Who is compassionate not only to themselves, compassionate to all beings. Right? So anyway, so still I'm long way to travel to Lord Shiva, long way. But anyhow, so Lord Shiva taught me this way. I have been discussed with the talks with Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva then come back slowly, slowly, my dear child. So come back. So let finish your karma. So let perform your dharma. Perform dharma. Taught to the science of enlightenment. Whoever needs and whoever come to you. So therefore he give me the blessings and grace. So travel around the world, bring the enlightenment, the life of others. Let serve, let free from the all sufferings, all people, all people. Like sometimes I speak, whoever needs, whoever needs. Am I clear now? So Shiva Sutras. So today is very good satsang today, and thanks to all of you. And that is the essence. So essence means here 25 sutras. So by the grace of Adi Shakti, a yogi, and can attain the highest knowledge, highest wisdom, and supernatural powers. Not only that, a yogi can understood the whole universe, the whole absolute consciousness. So that is all about the sutra number 21. Again, when the yogi desires of the seeing stands fixed in concentration, covering all objects with the light of his consciousness, then a yogi will experience the entire objective world in one sweep in himself. Then what is the use of talking much? He will have the experience of universal oversee for himself. So what I mean, so don't they try to speak, the author try to speak, the commentator, they say that, so Lord Shiva, that why you speaking too much, blah, 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 blah. No, nothing. Don't be blah, blah too much. Let the awakening, the kundalini power, kundalini shakti, let the unite with the Adi Shakti, let the know the Adi Shakti, let and worship to the mother, the divine Shakti, through the grace of Adi Shakti, and you get the divine pure wisdom, through the pure wisdom and through the one consciousness, through the absolute consciousness, through that vidya, through that wisdom of the Shakti, you can attain the whole cosmos, you can attain the whole consciousness, you can attain the absolute consciousness, then you can see the whole world through the one consciousness. So don't talk too much. So let meditate, let awakening the Parasakti, let realize the Parasakti, let realize the Shiva Loka, Shiva consciousness, and be free, not blah blah too much. So that is the taught by Lord Shiva. Am I clear now? So this is the simplest form. This is the simplest form. Let the get the light within, the light of Lord Shiva. So you can clear now. So Shiva Sutra speak about Shakti. Shiva Sutra speak about Lord Shiva. So it means, so by the grace of Shiva, we can attain the Shiva Loka, and that is no other way. But same time, by the grace of Guru is very, very important, because by the grace of Guru means by the grace of Adi Shakti, the Parasakti, you can attain the Shiva Loka, then becoming free yourself. Thank you. Am I clear now today? I have a little bit of jokes, but it is very nice jokes. So let's smile all the time and let's be free from all kind of places. Don't always talk about your problems. Let free from the problems. So Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. So our Gurudev Swami Sivanand and Adi Guru Shankaracharya bless you all, and special day, Lord Shiva is always with you, and Mother Divine, Mother Kali, Mother Adi Shakti, Parasakti, Tripura Sundari, and Mother Radha Rajeshwari is with you, within you. Let realize this divine within you and be free. Om 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 Om.